Howdy folks, welcome to episode 88 of my blind RS3 Ironman playthrough. We are in the home stretch here, there's only a few quests outstanding. Today we're doing what I think might be the worst quest in the game, Battle of the Monolith, followed by a middling quest, City of Senntisten. Let's get to the playthrough. Finally got a consistent yak card. I've been doing this daily every single day since I unlocked Prif, which is a long time ago at this point, and I never get this thing, so that's exciting. I just got an Onyx from an Elder Trove doing my daily Reaper task. It's a little stressful to think about all the troves I didn't get from not doing Ozanatra's quest, but I'm really glad I didn't do it early on the account because it would be completely nonsensical. Hey, that yak card got me the only potion I care about, the Perfect Plus potion. I don't think I care about... I think the other ones are all just like overload variants that I don't really give a shit about, but this one's good. Every other potion is basically useless, so I might look into making a Perfect Plus potion. I think I need Harmony Moss, which I maybe should have been getting this whole time. Let me go try to figure out how that works. Hold on. Yeah, it's like you have to plant seeds on the pillars, and then each pillar is attuned to a skill. And then once you get a certain amount of XP, then you can harvest it. So I probably should have been doing that the whole time, but I have to get seeds. I have to like buy them or something. They're pretty expensive, and I have to get them every day, it looks like. 4 per day. I don't know how the attuning works. There's not a lot of skills that I want to get 200k XP in. That's for magic. I guess you don't know what kind of pillar it is. Herblore, yeah, that's not happening. I should have done this a while ago. I should have just had these running the whole time that I was skilling up to 99 as soon as I unlocked Riff. Oh well. Archaeology is probably fine. Apparently the skill changes once a day, so I could try to wait to get a better skill for some of these, but I've got magic, I guess. Okay, the next quest is Battle of the Monolith, and apparently it's a repeat of the tower defense minigame from Desperate Measures, and you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to follow the guide for it because I'm not the biggest fan of that minigame. It says that like it's so AFK you can literally go to a bank and just like do bank standing skilling during it. So I don't think I need to bring anything. I guess I'll bring some food just in case. My read on the tower defense stuff is it's a way to have quests appear to have combat without actually requiring people to have any combat levels to do them. And to have it be like epic combat without requiring any levels, right? Wizard Trindy. Ali the Wise. Hazanandra is coming to attack the Monolith. Can't think you told on us. I do wish that they were in human form more frequently. I kind of got away from that, and Majorat are just standing around as Majorat all the time.
At the time, none of us realized the significance of the events that were about to unfold.
This is way quieter than previous voice acting.
Of Zaros
try to bump it in editing.
First, descending on the monolith to seize it for the Dark Lord. My fellow ancients, awoken from their tombs, commanded traitor knights to begin their assault. But the worst was still to come.
Command our forces. I put Helwyr, Therisk, and Commander Ziliana under your control. Okay. Well, that's quick and abrupt. All right. So guide says to move everyone southwest of the barricade. Like literally just in front of this. And I guess Commander Ziliana. Where's my third character? Helwyr. Oh, and is that it? I think that's it. Pretty funny that you can just like command Helwyr here. All right, and there's a bank chest here. We hit start. I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing. You already saw a little bit of it. The dinosaur quest. All right, here come Temple Knights. Oh, at least they have you fight with your normal abilities here instead of giving you the weird Thok stick. All right, you get it. I'm going to go skill at a bank or something. Oh, wow, Hellweir just gets all of his attacks. So they just walk into this and die instantly. Okay. It's literally just AFK. You literally just sit here for like 10 minutes, and they do everything. All right, complete. No music, nothing special happened, it just ended. Good to see you despite the circumstances. We're just like standing here and taking a break in between missions. What is happening? Oh, you just teleport here? Here for the codex. Okay. Have you forgotten we are twins? I have the power to stop you. Well, so much for that. The codex, which you call the monolith. Shadow breaches. Oh. Oh, man. Different reality. Erebus. Okay, I guess they set that up. Okay, don't care.
At last, his plans had come to fruition.
Thing he's been
The
planning this whole
monolith lay
time.
undefended. With implacable will.
So why was it undefended? I just defended it. What the fuck are you doing?
Truth that lay at its
I guess because he could teleport there, so none of it mattered, right?
in the fabric of our reality. Then he departed from this world, heedless of the devastation that would follow in his wake. From that same gateway came beings of pure shadow, and with them a torrent of dark energy.
That seems bad.
Left unchecked, it would choke our world. But the worst was still to come.
Okay. Oops. Question mark? What are those? Be realistic, you clearly need our help. Okay. So now a truce. Okay. Defend the southern barricade. It's so funny to like have all this like cosmic shit happening and it's just literally like some sticks. Okay. Color Therisk. We have Nexus power on our side. Oh god. Alright, hold on. It's really funny that like the placement isn't particularly like mind-blowing. It's literally just, yeah, just put the two guys right in front of the barrier. It was the same with the last time we did this in Desperate Measures. Yeah, just put him at the obvious choke point and then go AFK for a little bit. I get to work with both Hellweir and Nex. Oh my goodness, so cool. and give them a sec to walk there. All right, so this one's basically the same as before, just now I have necks also. It does take a while for the waves to come once you hit start. Bunch of shadow cacklers and stuff coming out here, I guess. Oh, there's no music for this. It's just, it's very underwhelming. And apparently pointless since, you know, the monolith lay undefended. It's like, I literally just defended it. I like the new Temple Knight outfits. They got that shit together really quick. All right, it's wave 3. Everything seems to be going fine. Keep wanting to try to record the end of these, but it just like abruptly cuts to black. We're in trouble. There are too many of these creatures. I think the fact that it keeps like pausing for a break feels so bad. There's like no sense of urgency whatsoever. Reinforcements. The Tokar? Oh, I actually have to like go do something and not just like sit here for the whole quest. No kidding. That's why I needed to bring this thing. Battle of the Monolith. What's up, man? The Shadow Realm? Well? Searching for the correct protocol. That's it? Okay.
The invaders from beyond proved too much for the brave allies.
I feel like they
Yet
should design
hope
it so
was
that you
not
lose rather
lost.
than win then, right?
Gillenor had defenders still. The Tok'ha, the hands who created this world, the servants of the elder gods themselves, stood with us.
Okay.
But the worst was still to come.
I feel like this quest is the natural consequence of all of the bullshit that RS3 has been building up to this whole time. It's literally just this. All right. Okay, so they're trying to put like a bunch of like injured men and women. They're like trying to create some sense of stakes, I guess. So we have to put these two here. Then Nex and Therisk go here. And then there's supposed to be Tokar somewhere. Yeah, literally everyone is just like, move them from where they're currently standing to the most obvious location. Like, I don't even think I need the guide. These guys just all happen to be standing out here. All right, start. I don't know why they have all the wisps floating. Maybe that's trying to show you like the way the waves are going to come or something. I feel like once you hit start, there should be an immediate wave that just spawns in just to kind of like keep the pacing exciting, but it takes them forever. Like, I'm just going to let this record so you can see. Maybe most of them aren't even spawning here. Maybe they're all spawning by the Gar farm. I've been waiting for a while. I didn't want you to have to sit and stare at that for that long. I felt like you needed to know what this is like to do. Okay, yeah, I guess they start coming to the Gower farm. Oh, we're already on wave 2? Okay. This one's quite a bit longer than the other ones. Still not a challenge. This quest is so bad, I honestly can't believe it's real. It's not bad in a fun way, though. It's not bad in a I'm going to rant about it for 20 minutes way. I'm going to rant about it for like a minute. There's nothing to say here. It's embarrassing. Just abruptly ended again. It like ends, it just cuts to black. I was just paying attention. Like, there's not even like a final wave or like a boss that gets defeated. Like the Tokar were in the middle of attacking a demon and it just ended abruptly. There's not like a progress bar that I could see. Oh yeah, the Frostenhorn. Oh. Next yelling, Char! Okay.
The priest, my friend, his heart filled with shame and confusion, stood before the doom his efforts had wrought.
Okay.
He grappled with the gateway, forcing it closed as it sought to consume him.
Seems like none of you guys have any idea what the hell's going on, do you?
But the backlash had nowhere else to go.
The backlash?
Pain cut through him as the corrupting energies tore into his body.
Thank you, Azanadra, for your sacrifice.
Enveloped him. But there would be no peace for the most faithful. The desolate scream of the new god filled the air.
What?
In the aftermath of the devastation, the Tok'har looked at what the witless surface dwellers had done to their world. Everything would have to be dismantled, starting with their former allies.
Now we have to fight the guys that I went and got to bring here for no reason.
Was still to come.
Okay, wow. Is he a god now? Is that what we're saying? Time for you to finish this. Tokar have turned against us. Well, it sounds like that's my fault for bringing them here. Yeah, this is one of the game's worst quests. It's really bad. Most, like, annoying thing about this quest is they don't really centralize where all the characters are that you're supposed to move for the waves. They're just kind of standing all over the place. And so you have to spend a significant amount of time, like, tracking them down. Okay, there's Liana. Been running around forever trying to find Therisk. Somewhere here, I assume. Wasn't close enough for the icon to appear over Therisk's head. Okay, so I think we can just hit start now. See you in 10 minutes. This quest is a quest. You really just sit here for so long and just wait for it to be over. All right, I was literally got up away from my computer and walked back. I guess I'm done now. I don't think it failed. This quest even have, I guess it, okay, it does require Azanadra's quest. So, like, what is Azanadra's deal now? He's super cool now? Oh, thanks. Makes monsters in the Elder God Wars dungeon fronts non-aggressive. Is that it? What now? Yes.
It is too late. The invaders may have been defeated, but the foul power that seeped from the gateway has already done its work. The elder god eggs, imperiled by the poison, are hatching. The young within will feast on our world. Now, the worst is upon us.
I feel like they made Azanadra into a god with like no fanfare. It just kind of happens, and they have like a line like, "That's what the new god said." And it's like, he's a god now? We're not gonna like deal with that? Like, Azanadra's not a super well, characterized guy. I mean, I guess his thing is that he's loyal to Zaros, but if like he's a god now, is he still loyal to Zaros? Like, there's a lot of good questions we can ask about his. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Battle of the Monolith. This could be recency bias, but I think it's the worst quest in the game. I think it's worse than Salt in the Wound. It's worse than a lot of the other quests I've complained about up till now. My understanding is that it originally was not a quest, it was a world event, so this should be a thing that I asked for, right? I said I was really annoyed that previously they would show us a cutscene for a world event that was limited time, and that I couldn't like actually experience the content that they're referring to. But I think this should have just been a cutscene, and even then, like the cutscene that they chose to go with is so bad. This quest is bad top to bottom. Let me tell you about it. I said during the recording that I wasn't going to talk about this very much, but I actually have more to talk about now that I've thought about it for like a week. It is ascendant god slop. It is the apotheosis of god slop. This is the final form of this shit. This is what everything has been building to secretly behind the scenes. It's this kind of thing. This quest is written entirely backwards, where they have some kind of like objective, like a wiki bullet point lore objective that they want to get to, and are just trying to get to it as quickly as possible. It reminds me a lot of the DC cinematic universe under Zack Snyder and their fumbles, where it's like they're trying to recreate the success of the Marvel cinematic universe, but they're like rushing to get there as quickly as possible. They don't feel any need to earn it. They just want to have their like multi-phase, multi-billion-dollar blockbusters without, doing the same amount of setup. And like I said previously, the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't Shakespeare. It's not even particularly great art, but it's like baseline competent art, and that's something that they weren't really able to achieve with the DC movies. Here, it's extremely obvious that they have a very limited number of bullet point objectives for this quest. One, they want to turn Azanadra into a god. Two, they want Zaros to go to Erebus, the like shadow realm. Three, they want the Tokar to be turned against us because they have plans for that upcoming in Elder God Wars dungeon. And at a very distant fourth, they want there to be an epic battle involving a bunch of powerful characters for the monolith at the Archaeology Guild. They also want the quest to be very accessible. I'm guessing the world event needed to be accessible, so it involves the tower defense mechanic they came up with for, was it Desperate Times or Desperate Measures? But they don't want to spend any time on the tower defense stuff to like actually make it interesting. It's like completely trivial. So the way it works is, wave one, you have to defend the monolith from Zaros' forces, because whether or not we're siding with Zaros is utterly arbitrary. You do that by assigning Commander Ziliana, Helweir, and Therisk to defend a barricade. But it's like, it's a tower defense, but you just like put them in the obvious choke point where all the enemies are going to come, and they just win for you without you having to do anything. So after you trivially win, we get a cutscene where it turns out we didn't win. In the cutscene we lose, Zaros just teleports in and does what he wanted to do anyway, which is pretty funny because it's the same problem in Azanadra's quest where Zaros just shows up and takes the crown. Like, everything else be damned, I guess he can just do that. Why is the player here? Why is there any kind of quest if it's just going to happen anyway? Zaros conjures shadow magic or something. He opens the monolith and goes into Erebus, the shadow realm, and it releases a bunch of demons. And the reason it releases a bunch of demons is because we need to have a second wave to fight. I should mention that it's especially awkward because I guess when this was released as a world event, like each phase happened week after week, but now it's all playable at once. So after every battle, you have this really weird, like, pacing ruining break where you can just like chill out while theoretically like all of Gielinor is at risk from these monsters streaming out of the monolith. A big part of what's frustrating about Zaros doing this is that it's like completely arbitrary as far as his followers are concerned. All of the Zarosian Modrat are like, oh shit, well I guess he just fucked us over. And they're like, I guess we'll team up with you, because they're having them team up not because it makes sense for them to team up. They're having them team up because wouldn't it be cool to be controlling both Zilyana and Nex? Whoa. So you control Zilyana and Nex, you put them in the obvious choke points, and they win automatically after like 10 minutes. It's each one of these waves is like 10 miserable minutes. So even though you won, once again, they're like, oh, we're winning, but we're losing. We need to do something. Let's get someone to help us. Who on the earth could possibly help us? And then somebody at Jagex presumably whispers in the ear of Ollie the Wise and is like, we really need the Tokar to be here so we can set up God Wars Dungeon 3. Sending you to go get the Tokar to help you is like so arbitrary and stupid, and just speed running to them being involved in God Wars Dungeon 3 has nothing. It's not motivated at all. It's really bad. Also, it's happening during the aforementioned awkward pause in between waves. So it's like you see all of these demons flooding out of the monolith, presumably killing everyone in Varrock, and it's like, I'm gonna go take a quick stroll over to Czar City. See if I can do some diplomacy during this extremely urgent invasion. So you trivially get the Tokar to help you for the next wave, in which you place Zilyana and Nex in the most obvious location, and also 3 Tokar, I guess, in another obvious location, and they just win automatically after a brutal 10-minute wait. And then there's like lots of shadow energy flowing out of the monolith or something, and Azanadra's like, wait, I'll sacrifice myself. And by sacrifice myself, I mean become a god, because I absorbed a bunch of energy from the monolith. It's really annoying, because it's like, I'm okay with Azanadra becoming a god, but it can't be on accident, right? It's on accident. It's presented as a thing that just kind of, oops, happens as a result of him doing something that's self-sacrificial that turns out to not be sacrificial at all. And then there's like zero fanfare for it. It's like a single line of dialogue where he's like, the scream of a new god. It's like, he's a god now? What does that mean? Like, what does it mean that Azanadra is a god instead of a Majorat? Because we have not defined the gods at all in the last 10 years of this crap. Spoilers for the next quest. What it means is that he can teleport the eggs. That's literally it. There's no discussion about what this means for Azanadra, the fact that his like lord abandoned him, or that now he's a god. It just kind of happens and we move on from it, which I know we're going to deal with it in the next quest, but it's still kind of frustrating that it's like, we're not like, this guy is like fiercely loyal to Zaros, and Zaros just fucked him over, and we're not going to even spend a little bit on how like that makes him sad. Anyway, after Azanadra closes the rift and everything is fine, apparently the Tokar are pissed now because we damaged the earth or some shit. So the last wave is defending against the Tokar for no reason, because we need them to be antagonists for God Wars Dungeon 3. They're doing a thing here where they're like, oh, actually the Tokar are fierce defenders of the Elder God Fool. Okay. And then the quest just sort of ends. It sucks. It's bad. It's embarrassing. Like I said, it's the final form of God slop. There's no story. There's no emotion. There's no character. There's no motivation. The gameplay is utterly divorced from the storytelling, where it's like in every single wave, you win a decisive victory, and then in the cutscene, you just lose for no reason. This isn't the player doesn't have agency problem. I'm fine with the player not being important. In fact, I'd prefer the player to just be a random bumbling drunk. That would be fantastic. But here, none of our characters are interesting, and they're only doing things because they're being transparently puppeteered by the writers to set up whatever their next big phase project is, right? Fortunately, speaking as future Marstead, having done most of the quests after this one, this is kind of a nadir. It doesn't get substantially worse from here. I do think it is actually the worst quest in the game, but it's why I've been complaining about Godslop. If you haven't really followed like why I care so much about that and why it bothers me, but you played and hated Battle of the Monolith as much as I did, this is what I've been talking about. All right, that was the least substantive quest in RS3, I think, and it's not even close. Let's go do City of Senntisten. So I'm already like super max pilled. I can feel it happening to myself. I'm gonna have to try to articulate this in the essay, but before I started playing RS3, my only exposure was old school RuneScape. I had this kind of perception of the gods as these like big abstract concepts, right? When you think of like Zamorak, like I'm trying to remember how it used to feel when I only played old school. Zamorak is like this big thing, this thing that exists at the periphery of the world. It's unknowable, he's a thing that people worship that maybe has unlimited power, but he can't get here because of the Edicts of Guthix. Now all of the gods are just like a guy, right? Like, what does it mean that Azanadra's a god now? Nothing. He has glowing eyes. That's it. I can't get that feeling back. RS3 has shrunk all of them to the red guy, the blue guy, the purple guy, the bird guy, right? It's It's so depressing. I bring that up because like I remember going to the city of Senntisten early for like archaeology or something and having to scooch on past Zamorak and being like shocked by that. Like, am I seriously scooching on by Zamorak to go do some archaeology? Like, why is he here? Why are they letting me come here without doing the prerequisite quests? But now if I scooch past Zamorak, I'd be like, oh, whatever, that's pretty normal. He's just a red guy. Okay, city of Senntisten. We must do something about the eggs. Acting isn't really his thing. Okay, so someone was just, Serblib was clarifying to me that apparently Battle of the Monolith took place over like 4 weeks. It was basically a world event. So they did what I said they should do, make the world event a quest so I can just like play it again. But it being a world event explains part of why it sucks so bad. And it's not particularly fun to play. It's just like wait for an hour to do the quest because of how trivial the tower defense mechanics are. So it probably should have just been a replay cutscene button. I don't know. I can't believe they have such like important things happen in a single line and then go uncommented on. Like we don't get any insight whatsoever into how the Zerosians feel emotionally about their god abandoning them, or Azanadra being a god now, right? There's like so much you could do with that, and they just whatever. We don't care. Secret wasn't mine to tell. Okay. So she knows now that he's Karos. Doc not with you? Oh, that's unfortunate. The Battle of the Monolith caused an outpouring of shadow anima. Oops. Can we move them? We destroy them? I don't think that's advisable. Okay. The fallout would be 1,000,000 times worse. Yeah, you're probably both right. I don't know, that seems like a reasonable solution. We have all these questions right here to be lampshade hangs. Move the eggs and drain them of anima. How about somewhere in the open? Away from population centers. We are full on comic book slop now. We got to go have a big empty area to fight. Oh. Oh. Hey, man. I have no orders. Okay. I'm Karos, by the way. Any friend of Marstead is a friend of mine, despite him betraying me 5 times. How do you consider Azanadra? I can teleport the eggs. Doing so would require a significant amount of power, but it just so happens I've recently gained a sizable reserve. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, I like the Slithscape masks, actually. I think they're good.
The elder gods must touch the eggs to hatch them.
Oh, that's why he has the
correctly.
weird effect when he's helping you in Archglacier, something I've been doing every day for 2
If they
years.
make a direct assault, their young could be destroyed. If they cannot attack themselves, they will send forces both martial and magical. We cannot know who, but they will be powerful. We need a defensible location. We must gather the gods. They can drain the eggs to keep them from hatching.
Okay.
It falls to their followers to hold off whatever is coming. The battle to come will be apocalyptic. The world is at stake. We must keep the fight away from the common people.
Literally, DC
My agents
Batman versus
recently
Superman shit.
uncovered a location which is both fortified and remote. A place I know well. The city of Senntisten.
Don't know why we're going there, but okay. Thanks, Ozanatra. Just hanging out in the Guildmaster's office. He was being sincere. Not a word of a lie was spoken from what I could tell. Thank you, Karos. Thank you for removing all uncertainty from the equation. You just, like, betrayed us. Whatever. It's fine. Oh, he's just here as Dr. Nabonic? Just hanging out? I don't know if we've ever been friends. Not truly. We've been allies. Didn't know anything when I freed you. Yeah, that's true. Necessary evil. Well, at least they recognize that this is a big fucking problem, right? Seemingly so. Okay, at least, okay, we're doing it a little bit, because this is what I want to know. Like, is he upset about the fact that he's a god now, apparently? Still, it's very useful to the plot right now that I be a god. Okay. Okay, talking to Bird Guy, who here is really big. Actually seems somewhat threatening, but in a lot of quests, he's much tinier than that. You want to hear the rest of the plan? Well, thanks, Armadillo. That was easier than I thought. Okay. At least be able to get Saren here. Yes. You called the whole council here again, Saren? Oh, there's fewer... No, no, no. It's the whole council. Everyone's here as usual. God. Is she going to mention that she called the council again? To try to, like, hang a lampshade on the idea that everyone's just been standing here for weeks? This is my plan. Well, sort of. Wow, that was easy. You guys can just, like, skip to what you want. You want to have all the gods in the city of Senntisten, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. Lauren. Zamorak is still in Saren's council room? Oh, Moya. Okay. I am his council liaison. Actually, let me talk to Iklarin first. About that. I love how much they regret having Azanadra betray you, because it's like they have to do all this work now to, like, undo the emotional impact of the betrayal to every other character. Just don't do it in the first place. So Iklarin is not going to do it, which I appreciate. No, I'm not going to do that shit. All right. Hey, dude. You used to be really big in my mind. I used to imagine Zamorak as this, like, horrifying entity, like a thing bigger than my understanding, and now he's just a red guy that sits in a red room. I think they have a really bad definition of what a god is. It seems like a god is whatever they need it to be in the specific scene, right? Like, what's the difference between a god and a Madjarat? A god can teleport, has more anima, right? Quelling an uprising of Zerosian loyalists on Infernus. Okay. I feel like it starts with Zamorak being really opposed to Saradomin, and then, like, really it makes more sense for him to be opposed to Zaro, since he's, like, the chaotic guy, and that's who he overthrew. Or help? How you became World Guardian escapes me. Now I'll be needing to wipe your backside clean. Oh. Why did he teleport me all the way out here? Such a jerk. That's actually kind of funny. But I guess it's fine because I can still just teleport from here now. Alright. I guess it's pronounced Senntisten. Hey, don't forget us. He somehow went into the monolith at the Archaeology Guild. Ozanadra saved us all by closing that portal, and at great risk to himself. But, like, Jagex seems to fundamentally misunderstand sacrifice. Like, this is the second time this problem has come up, where you can't have Carapac undo the drama of Neil Skips. Like, the fallout from Desperate Times can't be that, oh, Primrose is better now, right? That's not a sacrifice. Like, things have gotten better for the character. So if, like, Azanadra is going to run in to close the rift, he needs to, like, die or be, you know, bedridden and like sick or something, banished. There needs to be some kind of like negative change of the status quo. He can't just become a god and like, oh, that's really convenient now because now he has more tools to solve our next set of problems. It wasn't a sacrifice then, right? I mean, you could make him a god. I just think it's a really stupid way to go about doing it. And then to try to like pitch it as like, oh, it was this great risk to himself, but turned out it was sick actually. Well, I trust you're not directly involved in the theft of my crown. My judgment is poor. Okay. Agreement from most of the gods. None of them were thrilled. Wasn't that unpleasant. I love it's like you can feel Jagex hates that they're beholden to the past. Like they just want to get all the gods to Senntisten already, and they feel like this is such an annoying inconvenience that we have to like do something human and convince them, right? I'm trying to rush through it. I really think that the gods are like action figures. Like if they were just action figures and someone had the ability to like force them constantly, that's what they would prefer. Guess I gotta do some archaeology here. It's one of these entrances. Okie dokie, let's go inside. I feel like this quest probably should have been required to come in here because there's so much important lore shit that's unfortunate to get spoiled otherwise. Oh, this place like does not require excavation if you just come here without having completed the quests. 'Cause we've been here before and there's like people standing everywhere. So I guess you're just like time traveling to after you first explore the place. All right. It is kind of funny to just be like, hey, we left this for you. Can you like excavate this for me really quickly? And Azanadra, who's a god now, is just like standing there staring at you as you do it very slowly. It's pretty ridiculous. This is all just like underneath the dig site the whole time. It's kind of like gigantic. I thought Senntisten was destroyed. Oh, we found a piece of it. And by piece of it, I mean like the whole city. Okay, excavated. Cool. We require a Pontifex Maximus figurine. Okay. All right. I already have the stuff to restore it. Okay, restored. I don't think I need any of this archaeology stuff, so I'm going to put it all away now. Just put this here. Hooray!
Please follow me.
Okay.
Well, this brings back memories.
Swing your arms like a regular guy.
This old cathedral can be our safe haven.
And so we know this place is already filled with care. I feel like they could have at least just phased it so that like if you come to Senntisten without doing the quest that you don't see all the gods everywhere, right? They only show up if you've completed this. Yeah, this is where I had to scooch on past Zamorak to go do some archaeology.
This should suffice.
He's back to having his weird Majorat stance. Do you have any questions for me? What part of Senntisten was this? What might I find down here? Okay. Let me contact Ariane. He's like call her on his cell phone there. Really doing this. Words? Okay. Akin to the diamonds used to entrap me within Jaldrocht. My ancient magic. Even my brief exposure to shadow anima has given me great insights. Ancient elements come from someplace else. Whatever, Ozanadra, fine. That's a lot to take in. Is it? No, it's just dumb. Oh, man. Do not leave the safety of the cathedral. Okay. There's a bookcase here. Nothing. Chest with nothing. Great. Nothing. Okay. Sensing a pattern here. They actually want me to get here because there's like nothing anywhere I'm searching. You. Okay, got a light globe. Keep searching stuff and I keep getting nothing. Wiki says there's 2 light globes that I need. Searched almost everything. Finally got the second one. Is that it? Ozanadra. Light source. Hold on to it. Storage annex. Perilous to walk the streets in the dark, unless if you come here without doing this quest, and then it's fine. The darkness itself will drain your life force. Okay. So we're like looking for wards out here, I guess is the idea. Light hurts my eyes. Guess I can remove it. Put it somewhere else is the idea. There's supposed to be like a really noticeable lighting effect here because I don't see anything. Okay, I'm just kind of running around here. Not super worried about this. Guess the rooms are safe. Must be a ward in here somewhere. Was for the vampires. Trying to see about the ward. Talking about this thing? Well, then how do I get in the room? Reset puzzle. We have to go up the stairs.
Customer, be right with you.
Toss a bottle of the red stuff in there. Find a nearby bottle and pour the contents into the lock mechanism. Oh, thanks, Liske. Daily checklist.
Can I come out to play?
Guy talking to me. Triple question mark. We have like a puzzle here. Okay, old note. Okay. It doesn't seem like that added any information. Anything else here that's something I can do? I can interact with anything else as far as I can tell. Okay, I guess I have to go somewhere else in the city to progress here. Another light globe here. I don't know if the city is supposed to be like totally dark. I don't have like a wrong skybox, I don't think. Clear skybox. Oh, it's causing it. Here, ransacked desk. Dusty old book. Blood bank ledger. Okay. Log of transactions made at the blood bank. $8,470 at the end of the day with 1 bottle of dragon blood. On the following day, they had 1 withdrawal for a full bottle and 2 bottles deposited. Figure out what other numbers aren't added. Okay. Let me search these shelves now. Oh, I see. Dwarf, avienzi, human, unicorn, dragon, animal, demon, giant, goblin. I hope they don't just use the Sliske voices to like convey puzzles, because I kind of like that the puzzles are intended for you to figure out on your own without being told anything. Let me stare at this for a second. Variance is due to vault access. Okay, so we have to like take the ledger. I have to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to open up a spreadsheet and try to set this up. I think I get the basic idea though, that like there's a ledger that tells you what was in the stock. There's going to be a discrepancy that we have to account for, and the discrepancy is how much blood we have to pour in the bottle to open the door. We start from the daily stock take, then we get rid of unicorn containers. Deliver excess dragon avienzi bottles offsite. Max 2 of each to be kept on site. Okay, so like the start of the day, we have more than 2, and we have less than 2. So unicorn would have to just like collapse down to 2, I think. Dispose of opened unicorn containers, right? So that means we, starting from here, we drop the unicorn from 6 5/8 to 6 flat, right? Dragon would drop down to 2, but it's already below 2, so 1 is fine. Avienzi drops down to 2, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Restock human and animal blood below standard capacity 15 bottles. So if something is below 15, restore it up to 15, I think is what that's saying. From human and animal. The human goes from 14 to 15. Animal already has 17, so it stays at 17. Okay. Writing this down. So those are basically the changes. Unicorn drops to 6. Dragon stays at 1. Avienzi drops to 2. Human goes up to 15. Animal stays at 17. Then we have to subtract all the withdrawals here. So I'll just do that. All right, and then we have just a couple deposits. I'll add these deposits to the list, and I think we just compare it to the day 479 stock take. And the difference is whatever I have to put in the blood bottle. Okay, I think I got it. The difference is human, avienzi, dragon, and unicorn. So I should just be able to get those off the shelves here. Dragon, Unicorn. AVNZ. Okay. So let's do, I think it's 3/8 unicorn. Oh, just 3. Okay. 1/8 dragon. 2/8 AVNZ. 2/8 human. That's right. Okay, that was a decent puzzle. This guy's been talking the whole time. Is he immune? Does he need to be hurt by silver or vampire weapons? It'd be funny if no. That'd be nice if you had to go fight a vampire, so you have to bring like the Sun Spear or something, and this quest needs to require River of Blood. Or at least one of the Mauritania quests where you gain weapons that let you attack them. Alright, that was easy. Ward. Get ready to run. Okay. Hey, what's up, Azanader? I got one of these things for you. Saren's here now. Simply following orders. What's done is done. I'm going to help now. Oh, okay. Osnadra's making friends with Saren. Okay. I see 2 of them here. There's the Ice Word and this one. Sulfur? Okay, take the word. Reach that. Smash the statue. Gargoyle isn't weak enough to be smashed apart.
Fly, hide, protect the ward!
Oh. Okay. Okay, you gotta hunt them down. Alright, yeah. Hunt down the gargoyles. Let me grab this light globe. Kind of funny, the ice word is just like sitting there. Are like, are these important to defend or not, guys? This is just like busy work to give time for the gods to show up, I suppose. Looks weird without his crown. Thoros never cared for this world nor its people. Gods lead, they don't follow. Okay. Oh, it's gargoyle here. I missed it last time. Try to stand here so I'm not taking damage. Being slightly annoying, actually. That's why we need Slayer for this mission, I guess. Have have to rock hammer. Don't have the way to do it automatically. Okay. Hey, Illuminate Stone Spirit. Scratch one. Kind of interesting that you have to like leash all the enemies to the pedestals. Here's the third one. Try to lure him back to this pedestal here. What's the third one down? I guess are these a new kind of gargoyle that I can fight after this quest, maybe? Alright, there's the last one. I don't know how much they're registering in the recording, but I'm getting weird frame rate hitches lately. Like, my hardware hasn't changed at all. I had an update recently that made it really hard to connect to the game, unless if I did, you know, Windows compatibility setting on the RuneScape exe. So maybe that broke something. I'll try to mess with it for next episode. Die. Okay. Knowing that like the left click is add to tool belt. Wait, really? Oh, I don't think I unlocked the ability to do that. All right, here's the Shadow Ward? Smoke Ward. Okay, here's the third one. Now Zamorak's here. Finally know why I was scooching on past him. Not a game. Perhaps you should leave. The so-called Battle of the Monolith. Alright, thanks, Krill and the Twin Furies. Do you have to bring this jumped up snow imp? Okay, so Zamorak's like, yeah, okay, fine. So I walked in here, noticed the shadow word, something came up and said, no, it can't be, and then it went away. Oh, that left. Sliske. So what are we doing in here? Obviously the word's in here. Maybe there's some way to shut it off. So they've got words for their words. I think we came here. There's like a puzzle you do with this thing for archaeology. It was a really cool mystery. Oh, it had a very specific click box, this journal here. Inquisition Masters. Use the names of these top 4 persons of interest. Titus. Oh, so that goes on the drawers over here. Okay. It is funny that they write it this way so that you can tell that this is what you're supposed to be looking at with the drawers, right? Instead of just putting it, they have to have it in all caps with the gaps in between the letters. I don't remember how this worked exactly in the mystery. I don't know if it's just like if I have to reset them first or if it's just a matter of like pressing T and then I and then T again and then U and then S and so on. Let me try some things. Okay, we got dialogue after finishing. This thing, right? Something off about these. Open them in a certain order. Yeah, that seems right. We start from nothing, I guess. Yeah, so it's Titus, T-I-U-S. Degrota, D-A-G-O. Castix. Really need to get the YX in there, didn't they? And greedy. Yeah. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. I think that's the same puzzle as the archaeology mystery. I think it's just like the archaeology mystery is different names that you have to put in. This is a pretty far run, so need to be a little careful in terms of taking damage here. Oh, it looks like you could just pop into the houses. I thought, like, since it dampens the effects of the pedestals, that you would end up just taking a shitload of damage per tick, but the houses still work for some reason, which is weird. Are we done? Can we move on? Now Armadill's here. Much tinier. More to being a leader than general. I guess they're all giving Ozanadra different insight as to what it means to be a god. Okay, so they're explaining why all the God Wars dungeon people are here. I think they just needed to, like, if they're really going to insist on letting you come here without doing the quest, I wish they wouldn't. But if they're going to insist, just phase all of these guys out. Don't have the gods and all the God Wars dungeons characters standing around, right? Just add them after the quests. And have this place be, like, eerily empty. Oh, what are you doing here? Carapac. Choice is something you've taken from me. It'd be nice if I had control over that, but whatever. Send a lone dragonkin. They hardly needed all his gods now, did it? Dragonkin are no joke. He's also the Needle's avatar. He has control over time. Great. He's a proxy of Joust. What forces could they not muster? Oh, the Nodon? Okay. That would be the logical conclusion. I support this choice. Hooray! We all cheered for Ozanadra. Place my faith in you. Okay. Knowledge to restore the Pontifex Shadow Ring. I guess I'll work on that. And I guess the Pontifex Shadow Ring gets one more upgrade after Extinction, which is soon. City of Senntisten is the next big quest in the Elder God Wars series. As you can guess from the name, it's about God Wars Dungeon 3, the Elder God Wars Dungeon in Senntisten, although it's kind of frustrating that this quest isn't required to access this place. Like, the quest is all about you excavating the entrance and, like, you know, clearing the place of constant shadow damage that you would take from walking around there. Or you could just, like, walk into the place and it's fine. I say the quest is about Senntisten, but it really isn't. It's actually about the Elder God Wars slop of we need to do something about the Elder God's eggs. So Azanadra has this big idea that he's going to use his newly found god powers to teleport the eggs into Senntisten, and then we're going to, like, try to get a bunch of other gods to drain their anima or something. As for why we're doing this in Senntisten, there's not a good reason for it. It's because we wanted to add Elder God Wars Dungeon 3. It would be a good marketing point to get people to come back to RuneScape 3. And I guess we may as well put the eggs there. They make an argument, it's like, oh, it's a totally uninhabited place, which is a very, like, DC cinematic universe. Oh, we're fighting him somewhere in the city that's completely uninhabited. It's like, we don't need to do this, guys. I think anytime you encounter... I keep comparing it to superhero fiction because I think comic books are the closest comparison for RuneScape, at least for RuneScape 3. Whenever you encounter them saying, oh, we're going to go fight him somewhere that's totally uninhabited, it's because the writers are, like, utterly uninterested in the human cost of the stuff that they're talking about, right? They just want the gods to punch each other. They don't want the gods punching each other to affect anybody because they're not interested in that. The bulk of the quest is you running around trying to find wards to stop the constantly ticking shadow damage from happening in the city, and to also, I guess, protect the eggs. I think it's more the eggs. I think the shadow damage just kind of gets dropped and isn't a thing in the actual God Wars dungeon. But they are trying to do something here. Every time you bring back a ward, a new god comes back, and, like, the gods coming back isn't a complete waste of time because all of them talk to Azanadra about becoming a god. And this is the stuff that I thought was, like, really annoying that wasn't discussed at all in Battle of the Monolith. They're trying to get, like, Azanadra's feelings. Like, how does it feel like to be a god now? How does it feel like that Zaros abandoned you, right? And each of them is trying to influence Azanadra to be like, this is what it means to be a god. That stuff is pretty okay. It feels like it's here because it has to be here, because it would be weird that Azanadra is just a god now, and the only reason he's a god is so that he has the supernatural power to teleport the eggs around. That seems to be the main reason we did that. But they at least attempt to do some character stuff, so I have to give them credit for that. At the conclusion of the quest, we basically have just set up that there are 4 gods here. This is why when I was walking around doing archaeology like over a year ago, I bumped into Zamorak. Oops, just gotta scooch on by you there, Zammy. They're here draining the eggs anima or some shit. I feel like they could have let you come into this place and not had the gods standing around, like have that be a phase thing as to whether or not you've started or completed this quest. But whatever. It was spoiled. It's fine. Overall, underwhelmed by City of Senntisten, but it could be much, much, much worse given that we just did Battle of the Monolith. So I'm glad it at least tries to do character stuff. That is a wrap. Speaking as future Marstead here, I have actually completed the quest cape, and I'm working on my endgame PVM stuff, so I know exactly how many episodes are going to be left. Previously, I was doing 45-minute to 1-hour episodes, and then I had to, like, double down and start fitting a lot of quests into these. I saw how many quests I had remaining, and I was like, I'm going to go way over 100 episodes if I don't start doing a ton of stuff. Extinction is the last super long quest. Every other quest is, usually less than an hour, sometimes less than 30 minutes. The plan is for episode 98 to be the quest cape, and then episode 99 will be a bunch of endgame PVM for me to close out the playthrough. I'm very excited to get all the rest of these episodes out to you. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.